Good morning, everyone. Hello, how's everyone doing? We've got a couple minutes before class starts. So we got a little bit different setup today. Just we're using a little bit new platform so that we can stream on both Facebook and our website. And there's JJ with his morning. Good morning. um, hey, Kat. Just kind of rearranging a little bit. We've got about another minute. I've got a new webcam, guys. So exciting. A webcam and a Bluetooth headset. So I'm getting all fancy for you guys. And just take it back a little bit more, get a little bit different angle here. We'll get started in about a half a minute or so for our usual sunrise yoga. I almost took it outside, but I wanted to test out this platform inside with a little more control. Check out the webcam and the headset. And then hopefully next Tuesday we'll be live outside, like we maybe would be at Keener Plaza almost. All right. So it's right at 7. We're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Good morning, everyone. My name's Nikki. For those who don't know me, I've been teaching for Yoga Bus for a couple years. I graduated with the first teacher training, and that was in spring of 2016. So almost 4 years ago. That's really crazy to think about. We would normally have live music at the Arch, but since we can't be in person with each other, Ryan Marquez would be playing live today. Um, and you can check him out. I believe he's on Spotify to listen to for class or at any time. I always love the live music. I do miss having that with me for class. And we're going to get started today in a nice tall seat. So you can be sitting, knees crossed, legs long, knees bent, whatever's comfortable. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Let's just focus in on our breath. So I know that this is a stressful time for everyone. A lot is going on out there. So let's just try to let go of the outside world and bring your focus into yourself, to your breath, and to your body. And see if we can just let go for about 45 minutes and take a little time for us. We're going to take 4 rounds of breath here. As you inhale, seal your lips and breathe in through your nose. Fill your lungs all the way down to the very bottom. And then release your lips and give a big exhale here. 3 more rounds of breath just like that. Big inhale, filling the body. Feel that breath energize your body. And as you exhale, just start to let go of thoughts, let go of stress, let go of anything that you're holding on to in your body and let it start to relax here. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. Big inhale through the nose. Open mouth release. And one more time. And let it out. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or gaze soft. And on your next inhale, reach your fingers up to the sky. Exhale, twist to the right and let your hands float down wherever it's comfortable. They might come to your left shin or right knee. Um, your right hand might come back behind you to a block or the ground. 3 breaths here. Inhale to lengthen up through the spine. Exhale to twist a little bit deeper. 2 more breaths like that. Grow a little bit taller with each inhale. And try and twist a little bit deeper. And it may not be noticeable to the eye. Just feel it in your body. On your next inhale, come back to center. Reach up for the sky. Exhale, twist it over to the left. Good. Same thing here. Inhale to grow a little bit taller, lengthening through the spine. Exhale to twist a tiny bit deeper. Big inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. On your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, let your hands float down. And find your way into tabletop. So you can roll forward or swing your legs around, whatever's comfortable for you. Let's take a couple breaths to get set up. Bring your wrist under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and have a nice long spine so gaze is focused down at your mat. Press your knees and the tops of your feet into the mat and press into your knuckles. On your next inhale, let your belly drop down to the mat, head and hips rise. Exhale to press into the earth and arch your back up towards the sky. Continue here with your own breath. Taking your time, try and connect your breath with the movement of your body so that they flow together as one. It's a nice continuous movement. A big inhale. And as soon as you start to exhale, your back starts to arch up again. As soon as you start that inhale, your head and hips start to rise and your belly starts to drop. Take a couple more breaths here. One of my favorite little flows, cat cow, always feels for me fantastic in my back and my lower back. It's a great little stretch to do if you've been sitting for a while working, or if you're not working right now and you're spending a little more time, maybe sitting on the couch watching some Netflix or something. This is a nice little stretch for you. Let's take one more round of breath. And let's all meet in our nice tabletop position. Reset, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, gaze is focused at the ground, spine is long. And then bring your big toes together. Knees can be close or you can take them wide and sit back into child's pose. So you can reach your arms forward, you can bend your elbows, put one on top, arm on top of each other, whatever feels good here. Let's take one more round of breath. And then bring your wrists back under your shoulders, lift your hips, come back into that tabletop position. Take your right leg back behind you and then sweep it over to the left side. And take a pause here. So maybe glance over your shoulder, your left shoulder at your toes. Maybe plant the ball of your foot, or if you want to lift that leg, whatever feels good here. Try and keep your shoulders nice and square so you're stretching out the side of your body, the right side of your body. Take one more round of breath here. On your inhale, bring your leg back to center and exhale, settle back into that tabletop position. Shift your weight, left leg reaches back, and then sweep it over to the right side. Maybe look over your right shoulder at that foot. Again, try and keep your shoulders nice and square. It's very easy to let that left shoulder come forward a bit. So try and square up your shoulders to the front corners of your mat. And then on your next inhale, bring your leg back to center, settle back into tabletop. We're going to do a little more movement here. So you're going to take that right leg back behind you, sweep it over to the left, maybe look over your shoulder, and then you're going to sweep it all the way through. Bring your knee towards your elbow so you can lift it all the way. You can keep it down here more towards your wrist, and then sweep it back around. Come back through center, knee towards your elbow or wrist. And let's do two more here. Sweep it back and over, maybe glance over your shoulder. Come through center, knee to elbow or wrist. And one more time, sweep it back and around. Bring that knee to your elbow or wrist, and then set your foot outside of your hand. Tuck your back toe. Scoot your knee back. Find a nice low lunge. Feel free to grab your blocks here for a little extra support. So you can have your hands on your blocks. You can come down to elbows. You can tuck your left toe and float your knee, whatever you like here. We've got 2 breaths here. You want to make sure your knee and your toes are in line with each other. So if you need to heel toe it out a little bit more for a more comfortable position, go ahead and do that. And let's take one more breath here. Shift your weight into your left hand. Take your right hand to your hip or the sky, coming into a twist. And again, you can float that back leg if you'd like. You want to try and stack your shoulders one on top of the other. Maybe take that right hand and wrap it around your lower back to open up your shoulder and your chest a little bit more. If that arm is wrapped around your back, reach it up to the sky. And then as you exhale, bring your hand back inside of your foot, lower your knee if it's lifted, step back to tabletop. And you can set those blocks a little to the side. Sit back into child's pose. Knees can be close or they can be a little wide. Inhale to come back up into tabletop. Take your left leg back behind you, same thing as that right. Ooh, make sure there's nothing back there behind you. And then sweep it over to the right side. Bring it all the way through center. Knee comes to elbow or towards your wrist. Sweep it back behind over to the right. Bring it through, knee to elbow or wrist. 2 more times, sweeping it back over to the side, and then bringing it all the way to the left. We're just warming up those hips, getting a little movement in there. One more time, bring it all the way around, knee to elbow. And then set that foot outside of your left hand. And again, if you'd like your blocks here, maybe tuck your right toe, scoot that knee back, get set up in a nice low lunge. And you may notice this side looks and feels different than the other, and that's totally fine. That's normal. Our bodies are not equally the same. Each day our bodies feel a little bit different, look a little bit different, move a little bit different. So please have some grace with your body if it's not doing what you would like today. Work with it and work with where you're at. So again, any variation that feels good, you can bring it down to the elbows, you can float that knee, and we're going to take one more round of breath wherever you're at in this lunge. And then you're going to root down into your right hand. Left hand's going to come to your hip or the sky, or maybe wrap around your lower back. And maybe even float that back knee, taking a nice twist on the side. Again, it may look and feel different than the other side. And guys, I always feel, especially with everything going on, I need to let you guys know this is just allergies. I'm fine, other than just having some allergies. I've been spending a lot of time outside. If you're anything like me, anytime the weather is a little bit gorgeous or there's some sunshine, I got to get out and enjoy it, no matter all the pollen hanging out. If your arms wrapped around your back, reach your fingers up to the sky. Lower your back knee. Bring your hand back inside of your foot. Set your knee back. Come into tabletop. Find that child's pose. On your next inhale, come back into your tabletop. And everyone's down dog is a little different. So if you need to walk your hands forward a little bit, go ahead. Tuck your toes. Press your hips up and back, and feel free to keep a little bend to your knees. Take a few breaths if you want to pedal it out. Move your hips side to side. If you're wanting a little more movement today, a little more challenge, you can shift forward into your plank and back to your down dog a little bit. If you'd like a little bit different movement, sometimes I like to come up to the balls of my feet, bend my knees so they almost touch the ground, lift them up, and then press my hips up and back again a few times. We're going to take one more breath wherever you're at, whatever's feeling good for you and your body. And on your next inhale, glance to the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet a little bit wider than your hips up to your hands. You can grab opposite elbows or let your hands hang down. You want to bend your knees a little bit more. Bring your chest closer to your thighs. Just kind of pause here, maybe sway side to side. Maybe nod your head yes or no, whatever feels good. Try and relax your head. Imagine that it's super heavy like a bowling ball. And just let it kind of pull down on your spine, lengthening everything out. Bring some stillness to wherever you're at. Release your elbows if you have it. And then roll up nice and slow. So imagine your vertebrae stacking one on top of each other like a Jenga game. Let your head be the last thing to rise up. Shrug your shoulders back a few times. Open everything up here. Maybe they're a little crunchy like mine. I've been spending a lot of time on the computer lately, so I tend to hunch in a little bit. So make sure you open everything up. And let's get started in a nice neutral position. Heels under hips. Maybe pull these lower abs in a little bit to bring your tailbone under just a bit. Shoulders shrug back, palms open, chin is lifted. Take a big breath in through your nose and fill your belly. Take a nice big exhale. Next inhale, reach up to the sky. Bring your hands together. Exhale, bring them down to your heart. Inhale to reach up. Soften your knees and fold forward, hinging at your hips. Good. Inhale to lift halfway. So you can bring your fingertips to your block, your shins, or your thighs. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale to fold. We're just going to take that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Imagine tailbone to crown of the head is a nice flat surface. And fold. And you're going to go one more time here, halfway lift. And fold. And then take your right foot, step it back behind you, rise up into a lunge. So take just a moment to set up here. Maybe pull back a little bit on that left hip, relax your shoulders, maybe pull in those lower abs just a little bit and lift your chin. So your fingertips are nice and energized, but your jaw and your shoulders are relaxed. Take one more inhale to lengthen up through the spine a little bit more. One more exhale to sink a little bit deeper. And then inhale, reach up to the sky, lengthen the right leg. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, bend that right knee. Two more like that. Inhale to lengthen up, straighten that back leg. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, one more time, reach it up. And hands to heart. Good, inhale, keep your back knee bent, reach the hands up. Turn in your right heel, open up warrior two. Find that shape here, take a breath or two. So you want your knee in line with your toes. Make sure you can see your left big toe. Maybe pull back a little bit on your right hip. So for me, that back hip always pops forward a bit. So I want to pull back on that back hip, shrug the shoulders back, open up the chest nice and proud. All 10 fingers nice and long. Inhale to reach up for the sky, lengthen the left leg. Hands to heart. Exhale, bring them to your heart and bend your left knee. Good. Inhale to reach up, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Let's go one more time like that. Reach it up, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, reach it up. And warrior two. Take an inhale to pause. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your left foot. Step back to your down dog. Shift your weight forward, coming into plank. So that can be toes or knees. Hug your elbows in, lower down to your belly. Shrug your shoulders back, lift your heart for cobra, pressing into the tops of your thighs, the tops of your feet. Tuck your toes, press back to down dog. Now take your right foot forward into a nice lunge. Step your left foot forward to meet it. Halfway lift to that nice flat back and fold. Inhale to rise all the way up, reach for the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale, soften your knees as you fold forward. Halfway lift to that nice flat back, lengthen through the spine and fold. Step your left foot back behind you. Rise up into that lunge. Just take a moment to set up on this side. So knee in line with your toe. Maybe pull back on the right hip. Maybe pull in these lower abs to bring the tailbone facing down. Shoulders shrug back. Nice open, proud chest. Fingers are energized. Corners of your mouth are turned up because we're having a fabulous time. Inhale to lengthen a little bit more. Exhale to sink a little deeper. Good. Here's where we're going to pulse. Inhale to lengthen and lengthen that left leg. Exhale, hands to heart and bend that left knee. Good. Two more like that. Reach it up. And hands to heart. One more time. Reach it up. And hands to heart. Good. Inhale, come back into your lunge. Exhale, open up warrior two. Find that position on this side. Maybe pull back a little bit on the left hip. Make sure you can see your right big toe. If you can't, you might need to open up your knee and your hip a little bit. All 10 fingers are equally strong. Root down into the outer edge of that left foot. Chest is nice and open. Sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach for the sky, lengthen the right leg. Exhale, hands to heart, bend that knee. Good. Inhale to reach up. Open back up, warrior two. Let's go one more time. Reach up for the sky. Hands to heart. Press into the outer edge of that left foot. Inhale to reach. Open back up, warrior two. Take a pause here for your inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Step back to down dog. Shift forward to plank, toes or knees. Hug the elbows in to lower to your belly. Shrug your shoulders back. Lift your heart for cobra, pressing into your toes. Exhale back to down dog. Step that right foot forward. Left foot forward. Right foot steps up to meet it. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's add a little bit more movement to that. Reach up for the sky. Soften your knees to fold. Halfway lift. Really lengthen through the spine here. And fold it forward. Step your right foot back. Rise up into your lunge. Take a pause here. Had to make sure I got that right leg for you guys. And we're going to add a sweep forward. So you're going to bend that back knee, hands to heart. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hinge forward, sweep your fingers down and back. Root down into that left foot to rise up. One more time, back knee bends, hands to heart. And come back to your lunge. Hinge forward, sweep the fingers down and back. Root down into that left foot to rise. Turn in your back heel, open up warrior two. Inhale to reach up for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to reach up. Open up warrior two. Inhale, reach forward as far as you can. And then flip your palm, reach your fingers forward, up and back. Dance your warrior, lengthening everything out on the left side body. So right hand can be light on your back leg. It can wrap around your back. You can reach back with it, really lengthening everything out here. You've got one more round of breath. And then rise back up into your warrior two. Lengthen the left leg. Reach forward again. And this time, let your left fingers come down to your shin or your thigh, triangle pose. So right hand can reach up, arm to ear, wrap it around your back. And then you're going to sweep your left fingers up and back to dance your triangle. And then cartwheel your hands down to frame your left foot. Step back to your down dog. Shift forward into plank, toes or knees. Hug your elbows to lower to your belly. Shrug your shoulders back to lift your heart. Press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward. Right foot steps up to meet it. Lift halfway to that flat back. And fold. Rise all the way up. Reach for the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale to reach up. Soften your knees and fold. Halfway lift. Nice flat back. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And fold. Plant your hands. Step your left foot back. Rise up into your lunge and take a breath here. So we're going to take that pulse. Bend that back knee, hands to heart. Inhale to reach up. Hinge forward, sweep your fingers down and back. Root down into your right foot to rise. Let's go one more time. Hands to heart, bend that back knee. And reach it up. Spine stays long as you sweep the fingers down and back. Root down into the right foot to rise. Turn in your left heel, open up warrior two. Inhale to reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Root down into the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, rise back up. Open up warrior two. Gaze is over your right fingers. And reach as far as you can with the right fingers. Flip your palm. Reach your fingers up and back. Dance your warrior. So again, whatever variation you'd like here, we're going to take a full breath. And then rise back up, warrior two. Lengthen the left leg, the right leg, my left. Reach forward. Let your fingers come to your shins, your thigh, maybe even a block. Triangle pose for one breath. And then sweep the right fingers forward, up and back to dance your triangle. Cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Step back to down dog. Shift forward into plank, toes or knees. Hug your elbows to lower to your belly. Shrug your shoulders back, press into the tops of your feet and your thighs to lift your heart, and press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward, right foot steps up to meet it. Lift halfway, nice flat back, lengthen through the crown of the head and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands come down to your heart. Let's take a breath here. Grab a drink if you need it. We're going to do a couple of standing balances, and then we're going to work the back just a little bit more before we stretch it out. So we always do chair pose. If you've been in my classes before, I always do chair pose. And we didn't add it to the flow, so it's going to be part of our standing balances. So we're going to start with regular chair. So you can have big toes touching or almost touching. Shrug the shoulders back. Shift your weight back to your heels a bit. Start with your hands at your heart. Keep the spine nice and long as you bend your knees. Start to sit your hips back. So it's like you're going to sit in a chair, but you're not sure if that chair is going to move. So you want to take your time and maybe just hover above that chair. So it's very easy here, especially if you lift your arms up, for that tailbone to tilt up. So pull in these lower abs again to lengthen out and straighten out the tailbone so you have a nice line from crown of your head to your tailbone. Relax the shoulders, open up the chest, palms press into each other. We've got 2 more breaths. So you can be here, you can reach the arms forward, or again, biceps to ear. Just be careful if you bring those arms up that you're making sure your tailbone doesn't tilt up in the back as well. You're going to take one more breath wherever you're at. Then bring your hands to your heart, straighten the legs. We've got 2 more chair poses. Yay, we love chairs so much. Everyone loves chair. So we're going to start we're going to come up to our toes. So you want to take your feet a little bit wider, maybe hip distance, and maybe roll through your feet a few times. And then you're going to shift your weight into the balls of your feet, this time lifting your heels. Take a moment here. You might wobble, you might fall out of it. That's okay. Think of pulling up through the belly button like you're zipping everything up. Shoulders shrug back. Hands can be at your heart or they can reach forward. Bend your knees, sit your hips back. So just like that other chair, very easy for that tailbone to tilt out. So pull in those lower abs, bring the tailbone in line with the spine. Focus on something and breathe, 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 breathe. And again, it's okay if you wobble. It's okay if you have to step out of it. If you want to lower your heels, go ahead. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. One more big breath here. Good. Bring your hands back to your heart. Lengthen your legs. Lower your heels. Ooh, give them a shake out if you'd like. Next one is one of my favorite standing balances. If you've been in my classes before, we've probably done it. So it's a figure 4 in chair. So you're going to root down into your right foot, all 4 corners of the right foot, big toe, little toe, inside and outside. Shrug the shoulders back, hands to heart. Shift your weight into the right leg, float your left knee, flex your foot, maybe push down a bit on that left hip if it tends to pop up. Take your ankle in front of your thigh, or it can come in front of your shin as well. And you can stay right here, or if your balance isn't happening like mine today, take a little kickstand. Sit your hips back. Good. So again, you can be right here. This works better for you. Try and keep that left foot flexed, keeping the knee and the hip as open as you can. So this is a great place to be. If you want to stretch your hamstring a little bit more, lean it forward, bring your hands to your block or the ground, lengthen the right leg, and fold forward. You're going to take one more round of breath here. Start to rise up. Release the left leg, set it down. Shake out that right for a minute. And then we're going to move it to the left side. So root down all four corners of the left foot, big toe, little toe, inside, outside of the heel. Shift your weight into that leg. Float your right knee, maybe push down on that hip. Keep your foot flexed and bring your ankle in front of your thigh or your shin. Try and keep your knee and your hip as open as you can. Pause here, focus and breathe, and this might be where you need to be today. Or you can sit the hips back into that chair. If you'd like, hands can come down, lengthen that leg, whatever feels good here. Take a couple breaths. Again, if you need to step out of it, it's okay. Let's take about one more breath wherever you're at. Rise back up. Release the legs, set it down, give them a shake out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Good, let's take a big breath in. Exhale to fold forward. Lift halfway. Show me that nice flat back again. And fold. And then you're going to come back down into your tabletop. And then you're going to root down into the left hand, the right knee and top of the right foot. And then reach your right arm and left leg out. And then come back into that tabletop and switch sides. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale back to tabletop. Good. Let's do a few more here. Really lengthen. Think of lengthening through the crown of the head and the tailbone. And then bring it back. So your gaze stays down to the mat past your fingertips. Let's do two more here. Inhale to reach. Exhale to tabletop. You've got one more time. Go ahead and sit your hips back, swing your legs around. Make sure you're about midway on your mat. And you'll want a block. If you don't have a block, you'll want maybe a rolled up blanket or pillow or cushion or something. When we place it under our lower back, you'll want something a little bit softer than a book if you're using books or a water bottle for your blocks. So bend your knees, plant your feet, find your way down onto your back. Lift your right leg, bring your ankle in front of your thigh, just like we did in that chair. Keeping your foot flexed, your knee and your hip open, you can stay right here, or you can bring your legs in towards your chest, flexing the left foot, keeping your lower back on the ground. So you can reach for your thigh or your shin, but keep your low back on the ground. Keep your shoulders flush to your mat. Maybe even take your arms wide if that feels good. You're going to take 3 rounds of breath here. You've got one more round of breath. Big breath in through the nose. And big exhale. Then let your left foot come down to the mat. And let's switch sides. Right foot comes down, left leg comes in front. Foot is flexed, knee and hip are open. You can stay right here. You can start to bring your legs in towards your chest, keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed on the mat. Maybe you reach for your thigh or your shin. Maybe you don't. Keep your right foot flexed. Had to think about which side we were on there. And take a couple breaths. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. You've got one more round of breath. And then let that foot come back down. Bring your heels in a little bit closer to your hips. Grab your block or your cushion. Lift your hips and place it underneath your lower back. That spot just above your glutes. Lift your shoulders, shrug them back, and settle in. So you can stay right here, supported bridge. Maybe you want to take your legs up for a waterfall. Maybe take them long, letting your hips, your knees, and your ankles open up, or whatever variation you'd like. You're going to take 4 rounds of breath here. So feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze. 3 more rounds of breath. And as you're breathing, just notice how that block feels. Gently pressing into your lower back, just putting a little bit of pressure, that block or that cushion. Maybe relaxing the muscles a little bit more, releasing a little bit of pressure. 1 more breath. Bring your feet back to the mat from wherever they're at. Gently lift your hips, slide the block out or the cushion, and bring your hips back down. Keep your knees bent. Take your feet about mat distance, and arms can come out by your sides, straight out to the sides. As you exhale, let your legs fall over to the right, like windshield wipers. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Continue here with your breath. Exhale over to the right and come back to center. Exhale to the left. Come back to center. One more time each side. Good. Once you've got that last little twist in, we're going to do a nice heart opening pose that you can stay in for Shavasana, or you can just take some breaths and gently remove your props. So if you have blocks, you're going to take 1 block, take it long, just below your neck, between your shoulder blades, and come down to that. Take your other block to the second height behind the back of your head, arms open out to the side, knees bent or legs long. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can roll up a blanket, you can grab a cushion, whatever feels good. If you have a bolster, you just want to have your chest lifted so it can open up a little bit more. Then from here, again, you can relax your gaze or close your eyes completely. You want your arms out to the side and your chest lifted a bit. We're just going to breathe nice and deep here. Each exhale, imagine your muscles are gently melting and opening everything up. So not just your chest, even though we're doing a chest opener or a heart opener, but your throat is relaxing and opening up, your jaw. Your mouth might open a little bit with that relaxation. Not just your chest, but your shoulders, the upper back, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms of your hand. Your spine relaxes, hips relax and open. Everything is just gently relaxing, melting, opening up. Good. Feel free to stay here a little bit longer if this is where you like your Shavasana, your final rest. If that is not comfortable, gently lift up and move your props out and find whatever feels good for you. Maybe even taking a seat. Before we fully settle in, I just want to again thank you guys for joining me on behalf of Yoga Buzz and myself. Classes are always free and they're available after the live section on the website, some on Facebook, and the YouTube channel. But donations are appreciated. It helps to pay our teachers and it helps to further our mission of making yoga accessible for everyone, all groups, all types, every single person. So we appreciate you participating. We appreciate you giving yourself this little bit of time just for you. Relax your gaze or soften or close your eyes and just focus on your breath. And thoughts may pop into your head, and that's okay. You don't have to completely close your mind or clear your mind. But just let those thoughts float back out and bring your mind back to your breath. And friends, please feel free to stay here as long as you need. Focusing on your breath, relaxing, letting go. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Please stay healthy, stay well. From my heart to yours, love, peace, and good health.